Bueno?
I don't know who you are.
It's Juan.
I will find you.
He's not Juan.
Welcome back to another story time. Today's story, as you can tell by the title, is very embarrassing yet hilarious. And we have to go all the way back to 2013. This is when Vine was barely popping off. At the time, I think I had close to a few 100,000 followers. And the only way that you could really grow was to start collabing with other Viners. And at this time, the biggest Viner in the game was none other than, sometimes I just don't care, himself. Marcus Johns. You know, he was the Cameron Dallas before Cameron Dallas. He was the TikTok boys before the TikTok boys. He was the shirtless wonder at the time, close to 1 million followers. He was Mr. Vine himself. But before I go to that part, I have to tell a side story. And I want to apologize to Austin Miles Geeter because I always say his name right or wrong, I don't even know. When I told the story about how I started Vine, I left out one big detail. One of the biggest reasons why in the beginning I was able to start growing was because my good friend, maybe my best friend, I don't know, he hasn't talked to me, he called me Austin, decided to shout me out. And at the time I remember I had 300 followers and Austin was not the shirtless wonder or, you know, Mr. Vine himself, but he was very popular, very funny, and I followed him. And he decided to do a contest saying, I'm going to take the best comment out on a date. And I remember that I commented word by word, take it, that I will find you, I have a special set of skills, whatever, yada, yada, yada. He liked my comment and he made a video taking my character Juan out on a date and told everybody to come follow me. I think I gained like 300 followers from that, so I went from like 300 to 600, but then, you know, my engagement started growing and my posts started getting more likes and I started getting on the popular page. So you're welcome, Austin. Thank you so much for the shout out. You're the best ever, Austin. You're the greatest. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be here. That's how much I love you, Austin. You're the best. I owe you my child. Back to the story, okay? Marcus Johns, biggest Viner at the time. He lived in Florida. He decided to hit me up and said, hey, we should collab. I'm going to Los Angeles. Him and his brother, Cody Johns. He decided to collab with a bunch of different Viners, you know. I think there was like 10, 20 Viners in the house. Like I said, I think I had a few 100,000 and he was close to 1 million. So this was a big thing for me. I was actually kind of nervous. I don't really tell people that, but I was like, I'm nervous. I'm probably one of the smallest Viners that is going to this house to collab. Kind of freaking out, but I was excited. And I remember I went with my friend Tommy, with my, well, were we married? Oh shoot, I don't know. Please don't watch this. We're married now, that's all that matters, right? And then my wife's sister, Sam, because Sam at the time had a crush on Marcus Johns. I said it. I don't care. I don't care. This was a long time ago. You thought he was cute. That's on you. Obviously, my biggest character still today and at the time is a little character named Juan.
They call me Juan.
He's a little big-headed, very prideful, but like a genius. It's kind of weird. Even at that time, that's when Juan was barely starting to get momentum as a character. People loved him, but he hadn't really developed. He just made a little Vine here, a little Vine there, you know, but he had not really come out as the Juan, you know? So I brought Juan, you know, in my bag. So I think we made 2 Vines for me, 2 Vines for them, and like everybody was making Vines, so it was like a little like Vine party where like, hey, you want to make a Vine? So a couple people made a Vine over here and then Vines over there. So we had already made a bunch of Vines, and then I was like, man, I wonder if Marcus is gonna put me on his page and tag my name, because if that happened, then we're talking the big bucks start rolling in. Actually, no money. It was just more like the followers. When it got time to make a Vine with Marcus on his page, I was going to be the character Juan. So I got Juan out, you know, and at the time, funny story, Juan was very easy, but I would put on the red flannel. I had 2 Juan flannels. The original one that I stole from my brother, super old and dirty and gross, and then I bought one down the road like 2 years ago maybe, that I finally found another flannel like his. So I've never seen anyone have a Juan flannel. If you have one, let me know. Never. So I put my Juan flannel on, and at the time, I used Sharpie as the mustache, all right? And for those of you that are wondering, I'm sorry to break your heart, just like Santa's not real and the Easter Bunny is not real. I'm Juan. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you serious?
Later down the road, I ended up changing it to mascara, which was easier to take off, to put on, and way better for the lips and the health. Because Sharpie on your lip, like all the time like that, I'm pretty sure that has some bad health side effects. So then I got Juan down. You know, I'm wearing the flannel, I got the mustache on, I got the huaraches, and we went and we made a vine. We made a vine together. But it was at the end of the day, all right? So I'm like, okay, we gotta go. They had to go somewhere. They all had to leave. Everybody had to leave. And I was like, okay, now I'm Juan'd out. We say bye. Came in as David, left as Juan. That's kind of my life now. You know, it takes a while to take the Sharpie off, so I didn't want to rush in the bathroom and make anyone wait. And we got all in the car. Right then, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to poop. And if you know me personally, my biggest fear in life at that time was pooping at somebody's house. I didn't even poop at T's house. I would not poop at her house. I would go down the street to a Rubio's and poop at that Rubio's, okay? This was the one time ever that I was like, if I don't find a bathroom within the next 10 minutes, I'm going to poop my pants. I was like, hey, we gotta go find a bathroom right now. So we drive really fast. We finally get to like a liquor store or something. I forget that I had not changed out of Juan yet. So I'm sitting there as Juan, sweating, maybe the Sharpie's dripping a little bit. Unfortunately, they did not have a public restroom. So now I'm like, no manches! I'm really going to poop my pants. I run back in the car and I'm like, this is it, it's over. Just let me die and poop in peace, okay? And I'm Juan'd out right there, and I'm like, I'm not only gonna poop my pants for the first time in my life, I'm gonna poop my pants as Juan. And I'm gonna poop my pants in this car with 3 other people, and I'm gonna, I'm sitting there like this going, it's gonna happen. We drive as fast as we can, and there's a laundromat. And I honestly was walking in like this, like you know, the whole poop, like taking little tiny baby steps. Do you have a bathroom? They're like, this guy might be, you know, on something, right? They said that it costs money. So I had to take a quarter from some random person. I was just like, I don't care. I'm forever dog. And if you've heard that term, you know what that means. Got the quarter, went inside, did my business. And that's the time that I almost pooped my pants as Juan. That was a lot of diarrhea out of the mouth. Oh, okay, that's a horrible analogy. That was just a lot, all right? That's the time I almost pooped my pants as Juan. For more story times, comment below what story you want to hear from me. Actually, you wouldn't know. I gotta tell you stories. So, yeah, see you later.